All right, hello and welcome to another week of the Capsule. Hope everybody's good, had a good week, and yeah, we're moving into the kind of middle of January, so we're getting away from the Christmas break and the New Year, and everything's kind of getting back into the swing of things. So that's good. Got a few kind of announcements coming up and things that are starting to be put into motion now that everybody's back in the office after, or the metaphorical office after Christmas, which is good. Some exciting events this year, some cool stuff looking to come up. So I think that's really good. I think it's dope. You know, last year, obviously, we were kind of rebuilding after a lot of the lockdowns and stuff. Fingers crossed, touch wood, that, you know, we're not going to have any other crap like that that's going to fuck up the year. But, you know, I'm sure there'll still be bits. I know COVID is still fucking things up in places, but in general, it seems like we're kind of finding ways to like work around it and stuff. And yeah, we had a little bit of a lockdown scare around Christmas, but yeah, fingers crossed this year kind of we can continue to build that momentum and keep things going the way they were pre-corona, or get back to the way things were, or hopefully better. I'm sure people have, you know, it's these whole last 2 years has kind of like shown us how much we value these events and the community, I guess. So I think it's maybe even put a bit more passion into what people are doing because they've seen what it's like to not have it. But yeah, a lot of events have been announced, but we also had some postponements and stuff like that. DJ Hooch had an event. So if you don't know DJ Hooch, he is obviously a DJ, but he's been around in the breaking scene for a long time, way before my time, and he has been involved with a lot of different events as well, but most notably UK B-Boy Champs. He was running that for a long time, and yeah, did a great job, and he was one of the main kind of organizers of it. He announced that he was going to do a Battle in the Round event at Camden Roundhouse. So it was supposed to be a big international breaking championship. There wasn't so much information put out just yet. It wasn't, you know, announced who the invites were or something like that, but it said that it's the best breakers, B girls and B-boys from around the world. So I'm assuming that means international invites. And then it has been announced that it's being postponed. So it was supposed to be on the Sunday, the 23rd of January. Hasn't been announced when it's postponed to. I'm assuming with COVID and stuff, they don't know exactly when, but it said that it's being postponed due to the ongoing COVID-19 situation. So this could be a venue thing. It could be that the Roundhouse aren't taking big events or aren't allowed to take big events. It could also be a flight situation. I know the UK government have relaxed the kind of incoming testing situation, but it maybe for the people flying or something like that, like at their end, it may not be so simple. So for whatever reason, it's been postponed. But yeah, keep an eye on that one because that'll be good. Obviously, we'll post about it when we know more. But sounds like it'll be a good event. Hooch has a pretty good track record with the events that he puts on. So I think there's always something to bear in mind when you're looking at events, you know, is like if it's the first time someone's put something on or they've got a bad track record, people tend to be a bit more skeptical. When you have someone who's done big level events before a lot of times and done a pretty decent job of it, like you can kind of bet that it's going to be at least all right, you know. So yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on, the Battle in the Round. Speaking of big events that are coming up this year, I've been waiting to talk about Groovanometry because they hadn't announced their full lineup yet. I mean, I've talked about Groovanometry multiple times on here, but I've been waiting to kind of talk about the lineup because it looks pretty fucking good, I have to say. Quick recap for anyone that hasn't listened when I've talked about Groovanometry before. It's an event which has been running for quite a few years now. The idea is centered around a exhibition battle, which is usually I think an 8 versus 8 exhibition battle. So they usually do break-in and then stand-up styles, so like hip hop and pop-in mixed usually. Um, and the element that they add to that is having a kind of cipher session before, and the judges pick people to join. So they have like, let's say like 6 invites, and then they had like 2 extra people from the ciphers who qualified to join them. I think it's quite nice. I think it's nice to kind of I like exhibition battles. I think it's cool. I mean, it's nice to have competition battles, but it's also cool when you get to see people do multiple rounds and there's not really a like knockout thing. It's just everybody is kind of celebrated equally, because you get to see people relax a bit. You get to see them, like, if they're specialists, they can kind of lean into that more, you know. Like, let's take someone like Marvel, right? Like, I don't know that he's been at Groovanometry before, probably, but like he is very, very good at robot and animation, right? In a normal pop-in battle, he might mix that in with other stuff to kind of tick the boxes and make sure he can kind of get the judges' votes on different things, you know, make sure he shows different types of techniques to kind of be an all-rounder and win the competition. In something like Groovanometry, you might see someone like him go in on like rounds of just doing the robot stuff. And yes, maybe that's like in terms of battle technique and trying to tick boxes to win battles, that's not always gonna, like, he might not be able to do that in a big competition. But that's what's great for stuff like this. You might get to see people like that really go in on their specialism, and that's what's really special about it, you know, is like you kind of get to see people do those things. Same with like breakers and stuff. Maybe if there's things where they might try and spread themselves to show different techniques, like maybe, I don't know, maybe there's someone that's like a top rock expert, but like maybe they're just going to do top rock in the exhibition battle because it's like there's no pressure to be an all-rounder. I guess they can really show off what they do and be creative, which I love about battles, you know, when you see that. But so yeah, just to go through the lineup, I mean, even you've got like Stance and Shintai, who's dope as well, are going to be there for the media team. You've got the DJs look dope. DJ Fleg, Calm Fu, Digger Crazy, and DJ Pooh, if I'm saying that right. It's P-U, so Puh. Which is already dope lineup before we even get to the dancers. So let's see. So for the B-Girls, right, we have B-Girl Law from Spain. Very dope. We have San Andrea from France. We have Rogina from the UK. We have Paulina from Poland. Jilu, she is very dope and quite well known at the moment, so you might already know who she is. Who else do we have? Nika. Those are the B girls, right? So then you'll have the rest of the space. How many do we have there? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then I guess there's 2 extra spots for the B girls, I would assume. Then in the B boys, you've got Kuzia, Vigor, Cry6, Cal. So then that's what is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4 B-boys. So then I guess there's 4 male invites. So that's going to be 6. So it's obviously, like we said before, the 8 versus 8 will be B-boys versus B-girls. I think that's going to be really sick. I think the lineup is looking super strong, and that's before you even have the UK B-boys and B-girls who will qualify there to join them. So that's sick, and I'm super looking forward to that one. Like, I think break-in crew battles are super exciting to watch if you haven't seen one live. Like, only disappointing thing is like sometimes it's hard to see if you're behind the crew. But if they get the staging right so that the audience can see everything that's going on, like if you've seen UK B-Boy Champs or Battle of the Year or any of that stuff live, it's super exciting. So then we have the poppin' and hip hop lineup. So for the female top style or popping in hip hop um, group. You have Cynthia from Paris. She is super sick popper, one of my favorite poppers. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen her. Sharifa from the UK. Rifa, who I don't actually know, she's from Poland. Be interesting to see her. I haven't checked her out yet, but she looks like she's probably good. Paris from the UK, who we all know and love. Alex is from Greece. If you haven't seen Alex, I don't know her personally, but I've seen her on Insta, and she's like super sick with waving. So she might be someone like that I was talking about who might be a specialist, and we might get to see her kind of go in on that side, especially like the waving and stuff, and kind of delve into that without feeling the pressure of it being like a, in air quotes, popping battle. So that'd be really cool. I'd be interested to see her in that context. I've only ever seen her Insta, which is mostly like, I guess, like training videos, or her just like, I haven't seen her live at any battles. So that'd be cool. Soyez, who I'm terrible at pronouncing these names, but he's from France, and he actually won Summer Dance this year, and since then has been in a few other battles that I've seen him at online. I mean, he is dope. I didn't really know him before Summer Dance, and I assume that was a lot of people's introduction to him. He's really dope. He's got a nice different style. Kind of reminds me a bit of Gator, who's a popper. I don't think he pops that much anymore in the scene, but he used to battle a while ago. It was very, very good. And a bit like Cristo, a bit that type of style. I'd be interested to chat to him and, find out where he gets his influences from. But he's really dope, really creative, great performer. So, yeah, definitely one to check out. Mr. Josh, who is usually a DJ these days, but it's also nice to see him in the battles. Yeah, he's been at Groovanometry quite a few times. Always good to watch. Yeah, Josh is the man. Feist, that's a dope invite for me, because Feist is one of my favorite dancers, one of my kind of inspirations when I first started dancing. So that will be cool to see him. And I think he's a nice person to have in the lineup to kind of balance the energy, I guess. He's a lot older and very more experienced. So having someone like him alongside or against someone like, like Sharif or Josh, who are a bit on the younger end, it's nice to have a mix of experience and energy as well as style and stuff like that. So I think it'll make for a really interesting dynamic, these type of things. Then we have Mr. Breaks, who we all know and love as well, from the UK. And Diana, I don't know how she pronounces it, but she is from Ukraine. But I believe she lives in the UK now. She's been at quite a few battles. She is also one of the people that there's a page on Instagram called Women in Hip Hop. It's literally at Women Hip Hop. And it's kind of a page that highlights women in the dance scene. And she's one of the people that runs that. So that's really cool, and just I thought it was worth mentioning. But yeah, she's a cool dancer as well, really nice. So that'd be interesting to see her get down as well. And then obviously, yeah, we have the open qualifications for the top stars as well. So obviously I don't know who's going to travel for that. But I mean, even if no one from London goes, you've still got a good bunch of dancers from Birmingham and Manchester. But yeah, you will get people from London going up for sure. I already know some people that are going. And yeah, so whoever you add to that who qualifies, because you have to qualify in the ciphers, and then there's like knockout battles. So I think it's like top 4 or whatever that battle each other for a straight judge's decision, and then get to the exhibition battle. So whoever gets that far, they're going to be of a good level. So I'm really interested to see it. We will be there, we being the Capsule. So yeah, you'll be able to see some bits. I'll announce more about that when it's confirmed and we put it out. But yeah, Groovanometry is looking like it's going to be a really, really good event. I appreciate a good lineup. I appreciate someone doing just not the same thing, and also like building a concept over years. Like they've tried out these things. They've built it up. They're adding a theater night, which I think is dope. You've seen it work in places like Summer Dance, where you have this theater night that runs alongside the battle event, and it's especially with hip hop theater becoming better and bigger and more prevalent, it does run parallel to kind of people in the battle scene. So there's a crossover of interests. A lot of hip hop theater people want to go to battles, and a lot of battlers do hip hop theater. And it's like, I think it's a nice change of energy. I'm really a fan of mixing up battle events and adding more stuff to it to not make it kind of the same shit every day, basically. So yeah, shout out to Groovanometry. I think it's going to be dope. What else do we have? There's a Ground Zero announced their event. They've done a few so far in London. Yeah, usually a good event, pretty straightforward battle event. This year they've announced it's going to be a 3-day event. So 22nd to the 24th of April. They've got 1-on-1 hip hop, 1-on-1 popping, 1-on-1 breaking, 3 versus 3 crew battle, and a 7 to smoke exhibition battle. So sounds pretty exciting, especially the 3-on-3 crew battle. Obviously, we had the Grounded UK, the Jingle Jam battle, where they did the 3-on-3 all styles. So I'm assuming the 3-on-3 is all styles because it just says 3-on-3 crew battle. I think this is good. I think let's keep trying to push this 3 versus 3 thing. I think like the more people, the harder it is to do. Obviously, we've had 2-on-2s like Just Taboo and stuff like that. I think it's hard to get to like a 4-on-4, 5-on-5, 6-on-6 like straight away, because you need, I've spoken about this before, but you need the build up and you need people to start getting used to the idea, and for there to be crews that start to make it to make it worth there being like crews that train together. You need the battles, but then for the battles to happen, you need the crews to be present so that the battles don't waste money. It's like a chicken and the egg situation. So the more we do these 3-on-3 battles, I think it's just a nice step up from the 2-on-2 battles that exist, and people will start kind of training in their threes, and they'll kind of have their go-to people, and that's when that develops. That's when shit gets interesting, because you have people that like work on their shit. You'll have people start having routines and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of crew battles. I think it makes it more exciting, but yeah, you just need the numbers. So yeah, if we can get more of these in the UK scene, that would be great. Yeah, Ground Zero should be cool. It's on the same weekend as the Jam Festival is happening in April. So the Jam Movement and Kieran Warner run that event, and it's like a week-long camp kind of thing with workshops and stuff like that. And at the end of the week, there's West Country Clash, which is a battle on the 23rd, on the Saturday, as far as I know. Could be wrong. But yeah, that one will have, let me just check what events we have there. So on the 23rd, you will have hip hop, popping, breaking, and under 18 all styles, all 1-on-1. So that will be on the Saturday the 23rd, and then that's in Swindon, and Ground Zero is from the 22nd to the 24th. So that's 3 days. West Country Clash is just 1 day. It can be a bit annoying when things are scheduled on the same day, especially if there's like we're not packed. Like, you know, when we were at the point, I think it was just before COVID, when events were really like pushed and there was loads of events happening and stuff. It's kind of hard to avoid other events, but it's kind of annoying, I guess, sometimes when there's 2 events happening on the same day when you've got empty weekends either side. But again, maybe, you know, there's enough dancers that you can split, and you will get the people that think, right, Ground Zero is the one that everyone's going to, so I'm going to go to West Country Clash to try and get the win, or West Country Clash is the one that everyone's going to, so I'm going to try and go to Ground Zero to try and get the win and try to be strategic. But what happens is everyone kind of thinks one of those ways, unless one event is significantly bigger than the other. But this situation, I think they're probably like of a similar sort of range of size-wise. So you probably get people that will just pick one and it will kind of split, which, sometimes it's nice for the whole community to be at one event. Sometimes it's not, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, there's enough there's enough dancers to pack out both events. So yeah, I would say definitely everyone mark out your calendars and go to one of those 2 events, if you can travel or you're near to Swindon, get to that one. If you can't, then the one in London is for you. What else? Anything else happening in the world? AIM workshop is happening this weekend. So last time, I can't remember exactly when it was last time, but yeah, it's nice to see AIM put on some workshops. I think workshops are a good way of doing things. Regular classes are tough and it's kind of a commitment, and also in terms of your learning, it's kind of a commitment, because do I want to like learn from this person week after week after week? Do I would want to just go randomly? And then you've got, if you're not having regular customers, it's harder to get drop-ins of new people every single week. That's why, like companies like, I don't know, let's say like phone companies or whatever, they really try to take care of their existing customers. And you tend to get better deals if you're an existing customer that they're trying to keep, because it's easier to keep new customers than it is to get new ones. Keep old customers than it is to get new ones. So I think it's hard to do a regular class unless you have a fan base that wants to kind of learn from you and train with you every week. Like Sean's popping class on the Tuesday is good for that. I think he has regulars who they're there every week and they want to learn from him specifically every week. I think if you're going to start a class or if you're going to teach in general, like a workshop is a good way to do it, because you have a one-off. We as your audience or your customers can go, oh, I'm going to try that out. I'm going to go to the one. There's not really a commitment required. I'm just going to go and check it out, take some knowledge, see how I feel. Put on another workshop, which AIM are doing. This is their second one. So it's like, okay, check that out. And then if they're packing out workshops regularly, you can start to make it monthly, which I think is a model that Frankie and Clara did or are doing, where they do a monthly class together. That's cool. And then it's like kind of a commitment, but not regularly. And then you can move it to a weekly, but you have to be smart about these things. But anyway, all that to say, AIM workshop this weekend. They obviously do the workshop, then they do like a jam session, and then they do battle practice, which is super cool. You get kind of a mix of everything. I think with freestyle styles, it's nice to have at least an open session at the end to work on the stuff, if the workshop doesn't include free movement like exercises, let's say. If it does, cool, use that as a way to develop the skills. But if it's just learn this, or do this drill, it's nice to have a chance to try it out and implement it into your dance. I think that's a really important part of learning, is to take the skills immediately and try to implement them. Yes, they'll sink in over time, but it's nice to have that. So for them to have the open jam and then the battle practice is cool, because you're like, right, I can implement the stuff that I've learned into the open thing. Then I can also try and implement it when I'm faced against someone and get, there's often good people in the room. So it's nice to exchange in different ways with them, whether it's learning next to them or watching how they learn and take things in, as well as ciphering with them, as well as battling against them. It's a real nice mix. I was at the last one and yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, we'll keep you updated with things as they come up. Obviously, that's what we do. Tell a friend about the capsule. If you'd like to donate and help us to implement some of the things that we're planning this year, there's a link in our Instagram bio, so please do. We will be getting back to the podcast, the Duke London podcast. We'll be back. We are waiting for the University of East London building to kind of for us to arrange the recording, because that's where we record the podcast. There's also going to be some collaborations with events this year, which I don't think I can announce yet, but there's a few exciting ones already. Some live podcasts coming up, some recorded ones in collaboration with events. So do get in contact if you think that a podcast would be a good thing, like either a live panel discussion / recorded podcast so people can listen to it, or you have international guests, or you have even domestic guests who you want to have interviewed at your event or before or after your event, or that you want to promote your event, so you can do a podcast before and we can talk about your event and, you know, put it out to people so they can hear a bit more, please do get in contact. And if there's an event that you would love to hear a podcast with or at, please suggest it to them. So if you think, oh, there's this event coming up and I wish there was a live podcast because those guests would be cool to hear from, or I wish I could know more about that organization, so blah, 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 suggest it to them. Tell them to get into contact with me. Because, yeah, I want to do as much as I can this year. And, yeah, some pretty exciting things coming up. So thank you guys for being on board with the capsule as far. If you're listening, if you're new here, welcome. And, yeah, like I said, tell a friend and let's help to make this grow. Yeah, stay safe, everyone, and catch you next week. Peace.